Okay, let's start with the Emperor's Rice Grain problem. It's actually an old story, and you can actually Google it on the internet, and there's an article on it on Wikipedia. So what I'll do is I'll play the a little video on it. It's interesting to know what the story is behind the maths and so on.
This is an old story, but it reminds us of the surprises we can get when even a small number like 2 is multiplied by itself many times. King Shahram of India was so pleased when his Grand Vizier Sissa Bendar presented him with the game of chess that he asked Bendar to name his own reward. The request was so modest that the happy king immediately complied. What the Grand Vizier had asked was this: that 1 grain of wheat be placed on the first square of the chessboard, 2 grains on the second square, 4 on the third, 8 on the fourth, 16 on the fifth square, and so on, doubling the amount of wheat on each succeeding square until all 64 squares were accounted for. When the king's steward had gotten to the 17th square, the table was well filled. By the 26th square, the chamber held considerable wheat, and a nervous king ordered the steward to speed up the count. When 42 squares were accounted for, the palace itself was swamped. Now fit to be tied, King Shahram learns from the court mathematician that had the process continued, the wheat required would have covered all India to a depth of over 50 feet. Incidentally, laying this many grains of wheat end to end also does something rather spectacular. They would stretch from the Earth, beyond the Sun, past the orbits of the planets, far out across the galaxy to the star Alpha Centauri, 4 light years away. They would then stretch back to Earth, back to Alpha Centauri, and back to the Earth again.
So what we're going to do here is basically do the maths behind this story. So the spreadsheet that we've got has a picture of the chessboard. Some refer to them as rice grain, others call it wheat, but it's the same underlying story. So first square has 1, second double, third, double the previous amount, and so on and so forth. Now you can actually do this on a calculator, and it would be an interesting exercise to do on the calculator, and you'll do the same thing basically 64 times. There are 64 squares in a chessboard. 8 by 8, 8 times 8, 64. Okay, so there's the picture, and now what we'll do is we'll click on the calculations tab, and let's start working on the calculations. I'll just zoom in. By the way, to zoom in, you can hold the control key on the keyboard and then push the scroller on your mouse forward. That will zoom in, and you can, still pressing the control key, uh, move your scroller back, and that will zoom out. So you can do the same thing in Word, Excel, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here you go. So first square, so this is the chess squares column. First square is numbered 1, then 2, then 3, then the fourth, and so on and so forth. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to get Excel to do the counting for us. So if you're not that good in maths, or if you don't like maths and doing numbers and so on and so forth, this topic is exactly for you, because Excel is extremely useful, extremely powerful in doing just that. In the same way that Word would process words, Excel processes numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press equals. Any formula, anything that we get Excel to calculate for us always starts with the equals sign. So it's like, use the calculator that's now embedded into that cell, into that square. Okay, so equals, and what I want to do is I want to take what's in this cell, the previous cell. Now I can type in B3, that's the previous cell, and you can see Excel highlighting it. Or I can basically click onto it and it will put the rest cell reference for me directly. So I'll do just that. It's much easier. And then plus 1. So take the previous cell and add 1 to it. And now I need to do the same thing again. Plus 1. Now instead of repeating this process over and over again, I can actually click on to this little tag mark here, and by clicking onto it, keeping my finger down on the mouse and scrolling all the way down, what it will do is it will repeat the template of that particular sum, of that particular formula, over and over again. So there's 64 and there's 64. So you see what it did? It basically takes the previous cell, adds 1 to it. Okay, so now onto the rice grain count. We start with 1, then 2, then 4. We double the previous amount and so on. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll get Excel to do all the maths for us. So we start with the equals sign. We click onto the previous cell, and instead of using X to mean multiply, we use the asterisk, and that's because Excel has just basically taken X to mean a letter, nothing else. Okay, so times using asterisk, and then 2. We're going to double what was in the previous one, and we can do the same with this. So again, this tag here to replicate the formula, and I'll just do a few here for us to have a look that it works. So 4 is double 2, 8 is double 4, 16 is double 8, and so on and so forth. So it looks like it is working. So now I will click and drag all the way down to the 64th square. So on the actual 64th square, there'll be that many rice grains. It's a phenomenal number, so much so that I don't think we've got a number for it. We'll be saying zillion, 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 or whatever. Now that's on the 64th. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add all of those sets of rice grains on each square. So equals, we will use the function sum, so just type in sum, and as you can see, Excel, if you're typing in a function, in other words a specific operation that it will do for you, there's the drop down list that it will say, aha, maybe this or this is what you want to do. So it's very helpful. Okay, so open the bracket, and now I want to select all of those cells above. Now do it carefully. Click on the 64th. You need to keep your finger down and then slide all the way up, all the way keeping your finger down. So there it is. It's C3 cell all the way to C66. I click right to the end and close the bracket and press enter. So if I click back in here, there it is. That's the formula. Now again, instead of having a graphics calculator and adding all those numbers up, it will actually do that for us, and that's fantastic. Now that is an extremely large number. If we convert that into kilos, so if we say that 1 rice grain is 1 gram, how many kilos would that be? Well, all I need to do is press equals, click on the grand total amount and divide. Now I can't use our normal divide symbol. What we use in Excel is the slash. The forward slash means divide, which looks a bit like a fraction anyway, so something over something else. And now we're dividing by 1000 because we're saying 1000 grams in a kilo, one rice grain is 1 gram. Press enter. So that would be that many kilos, and it's still a phenomenal amount for us to actually visualize. So what we'll do is convert that into tons. So I press the equal sign, click onto the previous amount, again slash. There are 1000 kilos in a ton, so I'll just type in 1000. So that's that many tons. Again, it's a really large number. Now, if an elephant was made of rice grain, an average elephant would weigh about 4.5 tons, so that's 4,500 kilos. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do the same to see how many elephants that it would equate to. So I click on the previous cell and divide. Now we're dividing by 4.5. Okay, so I would literally need, now let's have a look. That's thousands, millions, billions. Okay, I would need 4,900, sorry, 4,099 276,460,824 elephants. That's a staggering amount. So there it is. So as you can see, Excel can process really large numbers very accurately, very easily. And we can also see what it will look like as a chart. So as the numbers are multiplying, we're getting really no difference. But then it gets to this amount or this stage here where this is where really the climax, where everything is starting to blow up from 57, 58, 59, 60th square. So really we're looking at the very last row of cells that the whole thing explodes. Now this, by the way, is called an exponential curve because it's got the curve shape and it just goes up exponentially. And in maths, in fact, you will do something with exponents, and you'll see this sort of graphs as well. So it's interesting to go through in IT. Go onto the internet and Google the wit and chessboard problem. Go to the Wikipedia page on it and check whether our number matches their number. That would be interesting to do. Very useful as well.